Susan says she's currently hunting for emailing lists. She wants to know what the best way to grow a list is.
Hey guys, what's going on? Here's another episode with Suave Pav. That's pretty much how I'm gonna. First of all, let me tell you how that name even came into play. I was actually in Orlando doing a piece, and I was doing a giant portrait of Dave Wood, and it was in the lobby of the Hyatt, I believe it was, and for some reason, the people that I was working with just started calling me Suave Pav, and it just kind of caught on, and I don't know, I like it, so I mean, that's what I'm going to use, and I think this is just going to be the Suave Pav show. Today I'm going to answer a question that Susan asked, and she sent me this text message the other day, asking me that she's looking for leads lists to actually market to, and she's trying to buy lists, and I want to explain what that is and what the best way of actually going about this is and what a list should be doing for you. So Susan, that is a great question. I'm going to answer that today. The most elite marketers, everyone that's out there that knows what they're doing, is obviously building lists, okay? Because without a list, you don't have a business. And what a list is basically your customer base, right? And you see this all the time. You don't just see this in network marketing and online marketing, affiliate marketing, whatever. You actually see this everywhere you go, like stores and everything. They're always collecting your email, right? So then they could send you different, like, new sales opportunities, or something's on sale, or different things that they've just got in their store, or whatever it is, just so they could constantly send you updates and coupons or whatever. A lot of stores do this, like Target, Safeway. They're always asking for your information. That's a way to keep you coming back and giving you cool deals through email. So basically, in online marketing, you really need a list, because without that list, you don't have a business, and that's one of the biggest mistakes people make in this industry, especially new people or people in other MLM companies. A lot of them that I've talked to didn't even know what a list was, which is crazy, because a list is one of the most important things in your business that you could do, is just to grow a list. And you could either do what you're trying to do, what I think you're trying to do. I wasn't really clear on it, but you said you're hunting for leads lists to send people through the funnel, or through the iPass funnel, right? So the best way for you to do that is to do it slowly. You're still in the learning process. I would not spend any money at all trying to buy lists or doing solo ads. You could borrow people's lists, right? For a certain amount of time. You could borrow you could leverage the lists that they have, and you just send your ad to their list, and that's how you can actually get a lot of signups doing it like that. But if you don't understand the fundamentals and the basics of actually creating capture pages and sales videos, you could end up losing a lot of money. Also, pay attention to if there's someone that you're renting their list from, right? If you're doing solo ads, and obviously they're selling that list to a lot of people, and if a lot of people are sending the same capture pages to that list, there's a really small chance that it's gonna turn out good for you, because the list has already seen that same capture page over and over and over again, and there's nothing unique about it. So you got to be unique, and that's when you start using something like Lead Pages, where you start creating your own capture pages, your own sales presentations that bridge over to the iPass system. That is how you would do it. As far as building a list yourself, that is the best way to go about this whole thing, because you want your own personal list, not borrowing someone's, okay? Because once that list is there, when you're using GetResponse, and that's what we use, we either use GetResponse or Aweber. I use both. But that's how you build your list. When you have your capture page, right, iPass has their capture pages, so does Empower Network. And once people subscribe and put in their email information, right, that person's information goes over into GetResponse, right? That's where their information is held. That's where that email is. So you just log into GetResponse, and then you could send them out newsletters, you could do follow-ups with them and all that good stuff. You could set that up to where, a month ahead of time, so every day it's just automatically sending out these emails that you've pre-written up. That is how you do it the right way, right? And you build your list by, using social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, StumbleUpon, Tumblr, whatever. Just pick one and master it, and just send your capture page and the descriptions of whatever those, inside the social media, or create a website that has an opt-in page that goes to, GetResponse, where you're just getting information because you want that customer's information. You want that prospect's information, right? And the reason you want it is because they might not sign up with you today, all right? They might not sign up with you tomorrow or the next week, or the week after that or the month after that, but you're constantly following up with them. You're sending them information, right? So it's a lot better than someone coming to your capture page or your sales video and then leaving and then you didn't get any information from them. That's a bad way to go about it. You want to grab their information so you could follow up with them, and if you're sending the value all the time, which is why it's so important to have all the products, because there's a tremendous amount of value that you're missing out on if you don't have all the products, right? You're not listening to audios daily, you're not reading books, you're not marketing daily, you're not blogging. You're not going through the training. There's a whole bunch of information in there that you could just pick apart and send out to your list every day. And that's stuff that they don't know, right? It's going to blow their minds. It's going to explode in their heads once they see this if you're sending out good value. And then after you've been sending out this value, that is when, you give them the sales presentation again, or just include it in every follow-up or every newsletter that you're sending out to your list, right? And slowly, you'll be building that list, you'll be building relationships with that list, and then you're building rapport, so then they get to know you to a personal level, and they're like, you know what, I want to check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and sign up and see what she's doing or what he's doing. So that is why it is so important to start building your list, because you could literally do you could create your own company if your list is large enough, right? And you could, there's just it's free traffic for you once you have your list, because it's yours. It's your customer base, and you need to take care of your list. You need to help them out, and you need to get them really good value. And the beautiful thing about a list is if you're setting up your GetResponse or your Aweber, and you're sending out follow-ups, automatic follow-ups every single day, you're going to be gaining new prospects, new team members, whether you're working in it or not. You'll be getting new leads. You'll be getting, money coming in, whether you're working or not. And that's the beautiful thing about having a list, is that you're getting all of this stuff. And you could be out on the beach. You could be out doing whatever, hang out with your friends, out to dinner, at a movie, hang out with, your family, doing whatever, just having a great time, and you'll be getting leads and you'll be getting sales as you're doing this, because you're sending them follow-ups every single day, right? And if you know the basics of how this whole system really works and how this business actually works, you could even start getting a ridiculous amount of sales if even if your list is only 1,000 people or like 2,000 people. If you have a small list, it doesn't matter, but you got to know the fundamentals of actually connecting with that list, so you could get the maximum amount of signups out of it, right? That's the whole thing. And you want to send them emails every single day, right? Maybe two to three times a day. Some people send them send their list emails like 8 or 9 times a day. I know people that do that. Michelangelo is one of them. He'll just bombard people with insane amounts of emails every single day. I don't know how he does it, but it's crazy, and people, they keep signing up. He's one of the top earners in Power. So also, another thing, with your list, it is extremely, extremely, extremely important that you're not just trying to sell all the time. You have to give value. That's how you're going to sell, and that's how you build rapport and relationships with people. It's just the best way of doing it. So I hope that answered your question. So if you want to use Twitter, really focus on using Twitter to actually get leads, right? If you don't want to use the capture pages or the sales presentations that that iPass has for you, create your own. You could do that with Lead Pages. There's a lot of other companies out there that you could use to create your own capture pages and sales videos to make it personal. Now, another thing is you want to be very targeted about who you want in your list too. You don't want just a whole bunch of different kinds of people that aren't even interested in what you're doing, right? So if you want to start using iPass or Empower Network or the blog to start bringing in people that maybe like cooking, maybe you love cooking, right? And that's a niche that you want to target. You'll have separate lists inside your GetResponse, and each one will be like, the cooking list, the food list, the entrepreneur list, the list of people who are interested in home-based businesses, the entrepreneurship. I don't know if I just said that, but that's what basically you want to categorize your list so you know what kind of messages to send out to every single one of those lists, And that's something I didn't understand in the beginning because, let's backtrack to 2 years ago or two or 3 years ago, when I was really getting into this, I was just marketing to everyone. And that was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, because I was sending out emails to people that, said something like, do you want to, here's a cool way to make money from home. And I was just sending this to people that, anybody, people that liked video games, people that loved, they were just weren't interested in it. So be targeted, because that way you don't have to sit there and convince people. And that's another mistake that most marketers make, is they just go around trying to convince people to join their business when those people have no idea what they're talking about. They're not warm leads. They're completely cold leads that, just don't know anything about it and don't even care to do it at all. They would just rather work a job. So who are you targeting? What kind of people do you want in your list, and what kind of messages are you going to be sending out to that list specifically? Because the more targeted you are with your niche, the more targeted your list is, the easier it is for you to sell and give value, right? Because you can't give value to a person about, building a list when they have no idea what a list is, right? But people, that have been in the industry for a long time would know about that and would be interested in reading about that, right? A person that likes cars would not be interested in learning about a list, right? So these are things that you really got to think about when you're building your list and you're doing all of this. And I have a ton of different kinds of lists. I have like 30 or 40 different kinds of lists that I'm targeting, and each one of them have separate kinds of messages that are going out to those lists. Like I have Dragon Ball Z lists, just because I love Dragon Ball Z, and everyone should love Dragon Ball Z because it's one of the best shows out there. But this is something you really want to figure out, and before you start pumping any money into solo ads or advertising, or doing anything dramatic like that, really figure out what you need to be doing, who you want to be targeting, right? And it's going to make things a lot easier for you, and it's going to make this business a lot simpler for you to understand. So it is really important that you do go through all of the products. You've got to get all the products, because everything that I've learned, everything that I'm talking about right now, every strategy that I am using right now, I have paid thousands of dollars for, and that was in the products. I bought the products, and that's the only way I could sell them, right? Because if you don't have the products, how can you sell something? How can you sell something if you don't have it yourself, right? People will see through it. They will know that it's not authentic, and they'll ask you what's in the products, and you'll just be like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. You got to know what's in there, and you got to know what you're talking about. That's why value is so powerful. We're in the age of information, so your list, you got to take care of it. You got to send them value. Your list is your baby. Take care of it like a baby, and just send them good information, right? I actually this is a funny story. I actually met up with someone. I'm not going to say their name, but they were in a company called Vima, right? And Vima sells their juices and all their other, whatever they're selling. They have like all sorts of like protein products and like health products. I don't know. It's the typical MLM company, right? So this was about 4 or 5 months ago. I went and actually met up with this person because I live in San Francisco. He also lives in San Francisco. So I was like, okay, cool. I love talking to people about marketing. Yeah. And I really didn't have anything to do that day. So I went up and I actually met up with him. And we sat down at a cafe downtown San Francisco, and we just started talking. And I just wanted to ask him a few questions about how he runs his business, right? And he didn't even know what a list was. He actually was writing down people's emails on a piece of paper that he would go out and talk to. And when I told him, I was like, you're doing it wrong, dude. You're doing it wrong, okay? Would you, it blew my mind. And a lot of people operate like this. They operate this way, and they just don't know any better. So, that's why it's our job. It's our, you got to tell your list that, because that kind of information, just that simple information that, people, to some people, that is worth $1 million, right? Just them finding out how to make a list, and that they don't have to email every single person individually through whatever email service that they have. Okay, that's what an autoresponder is there for. It's working for you 24/7. You don't even have to be there. You could set everything up, schedule all your, the newsletters that go out, and just do it that way. Okay, it's a lot easier. You need to use shortcuts. That's why the system is so powerful, and it runs at an automated level. So you could actually have time and freedom to do whatever the hell you want to do, right? To, quit your job, to hang out with family, to go on vacation whenever you want to go on vacation, to do whatever it is that you want to do. So it's really important, if you are serious, and the people I know there's someone out there watching right now that is watching this, and they're having a breakthrough right now, and they're just going to get all in, they're going to do this, and the people that don't are just going to watch those people rise to the top and start making, $5 to $10 to $15 to $20 to $30,000 a month, And it's because they didn't make a decision to actually run with it and do it, because it is, if you're serious, I'm telling you right now, if you are serious about this industry, about this business, about making money online, you have to be all in. That's it. That's all it is, right? Because it is incredible what a person can achieve, the resources they can get when they really want something. Okay, I'm going to tell you another story real quick, and I'm just going to keep telling stories, and that's one of the reasons why I actually make money, and that you might have a breakthrough just by hearing that. So, actually, I had a friend, that came here and lived with me. I let him live here because we kind of had like a work trade going on, right? And, oh man, okay, so this guy, he does like SEO, right? And he doesn't even have a list himself either. And when I told him about this, it just blew his mind. Like when I told him about, how to build a list, that you got to have a list, that social media is where it's at today, right? That systems and automation is where it's at. And he was actually running like a real company based out in Buffalo, New York, and he was just cold calling people. He would actually call his leads, and that's like, and he would spend most of the time just talking on the phone all day, right? And we didn't get into this industry to be telemarketers, right? That's not what we're here for. We're here to actually use our list, to leverage the power of the list and the power of the internet, the power of social media, to just not talk to people all day. Because he was literally, if you're going to be talking on the phone all day, and maybe 1 out of 1,000 people are actually fine with that, but that's 1 out of 1,000. Nobody else wants to be on the phone all day, right? So that's another power of another way that the list, having a list, building your own list, and just having your own personal amount of, your customer base that you could just send information out to, and that's free traffic to anything. You could send them your blog, right? Get them coming to your blog, and that's it's a lot of people just don't know about this, so you gotta teach them, and this is how you do it. Build your list slowly through social media, through internet, through your blog. If you don't have your blog already, you got to get your blog, and just get all in. Okay, just get all in and start doing it, because this information will help you. And if you're serious, you will do this, and you will make this happen. And if you want it as bad as I did when I first got started, that's why I have these results. And you can get these same results too if you just want it that bad, right? So think about it. Do you want to really be successful in this business? Get around the people that are successful, start building your list, start going through the training, and start impacting other people's lives, because that's how your list is going to stick around if you keep giving them value, more and more value, right? That's how you do it. So basically, I hope this answered your question. And start building your list if you have any more. So this was episode 2 of the Suave Pav Show, right? So tune in tomorrow. I'm going to answer more questions that people have about, whatever, online marketing, entrepreneurship, building their business, whatever it is. I'm just going to keep answering these. I'm going to keep putting them on the blog. Watch what I'm doing and start modeling after me, because this is, right, I'm just going to show you in 3 months, in 90 days, the kind of traffic I'm driving as a result of making videos like this, doing episodes, and putting it all over YouTube and Twitter and all the social media. It's going to blow your mind. So, and this is going to maybe double or triple my income, and I guarantee that. So, so I hope this gave you some value, and just keep crushing it and keep going. Don't stop, okay? If you really want it, it's going to happen. And I'm here to help you. I'll keep answering your questions. I'll still be there to help out with whatever you need. Just know that I'm not a tech guy. I'm not tech support. So whatever problems you have, shoot them over to support with iPass or Empower, whether you're in. So to recap on everything I talked about, build your list, right? Don't go out buying solo ads right now. If you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to throw out a bunch of money. Get all the products, get all in if you're serious and you want to actually make it here in this business, because everyone that is all in, or everyone that is successful, is all in. They have everything. Do you want it? Are you all in? Are you going to invest in your education and make this happen, right? Get to live events, right? Because you want to surround yourself with the people that are actually, getting results, and you want to hang out with them. You just want to be around them. 20 minutes with someone, in the industry that's making it at one of these events, could completely change everything for you. Could change your life completely. It's a lot different than just watching videos like this, right? And just observe them. So those are the 3 things I really want you to do, and I want you to pay attention to and apply. You know, building your list, going to live events, and getting all the products. So hope you guys have a great day. This is Suave Pav. I'll see you guys later. Bye.